I just listened to a song by Ed Sheeran called Perfect. We know that is one of his leading top charters for his new album. It's still, I believe, topping the charts in many countries and just left the top of the charts in the UK. But particularly if you listen to the lyrics, it's also about making sure that you have a certain dedication to duty, certain dedication to someone, and a dedication knowing that things will be perfect always. But it constantly takes a lot of perseverance to attain perfection, because perfection is not attained in isolation. And my dear friends, in order for you to get to a point of your need, perseverance should be a hallmark by which, no matter the type of challenges that you tend to face, you would always be on the front burner, making sure that you focus your goals on your priorities by always attaining what your main objectives would be by constantly being persevering. There you can achieve perfection. And I hope that we'll all take the song by Ed Sheeran, Perfect, to know that being perfect also means that persevering always to achieve. Good morning to you. It's the AM show as always. You can get interactive with us for the next 3 hours on Facebook, JoyNews on TV. It has a Twitter linked handle, JoyNews on TV. And we have a channel where we're always broadcasting live on YouTube. And the name of our channel, as I'm checking rightly, is My Joy Online TV. But just in case you don't know, just in case you have a mobile phone, you can always watch us because data is now very cheap and affordable in Ghana. So go to My Joy Online TV on YouTube and you can watch us. But look, let's get straight to the issues. The president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has been speaking a lot about human rights and the need to make sure that we put things into perspective. So on AM Business today, we'll be focusing on the best of the issues as we look at making sure we do the needed regularization and impressing on women empowerment in the corporate world, and that's what AM Business will be focusing today. But a controversial subject seems to have come up because the Legal Professional Regulations 2017 is before Parliament, and the Association of Legal students, apparently they want the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to impress on members of parliament to vote against passing that regulation. And the General Legal Council also laid the regulations in parliament way back in December 2017 in response to a Supreme Court order for a clear admission procedure into the Ghana School of Law. And for many people who want to aspire to become lawyers, after you've gone through your faculty, gone through having had your LLB and aspiring to be called to the bar, you have to go through the Ghana School of Law. But well, we'll be having the officials of the association join us and we'll be asking them pretty much what really their concerns are. But we also have to shift our focus. It's been a year since a school building collapsed and killed 6 pupils of the Breman Jamra Basic School. And 1 year on, what's been done to improve the situation of these students and to improve the situation generally. So we'll be reliving the moment here on the AM show, and we'll get you the latest as Justice Bedu has been to the town and has come through with the latest reports. And then we'll have some great discussions on the latest transfer issues, because we know today is the 31st of January 2018. The transfer in England will come to an end, and we're going to have our regular sports hosts on the channel, George Addo Jr. and Gary Al Smith, talk about what the countdown will be, who is moving where in the January transfer window, and how we're faring. But of course, we would have brought the latest news headlines. We would have also brought to you the latest review of the newspapers. You may now be monitoring the news that Shatta Wale is likely to be unveiled by Xylophone Media as the latest signing. And according to the speculations in the media, he's going to have a Rolls Royce, 1.5 million cash in the bank for him. It's the greatest of entertainment signings we'll have. So he can now rub shoulders with Davido, the rest in it, Charlie, like we die finished. He now has a golden tooth, Shatta Wale, so don't worry. He's going for diamond, the next level. But that's for entertainment. But you would have known that Kenya has, well, inconspicuously two presidents, one, of course, ushered into office, sworn in by the Supreme Court based on what the Constitution says, and Raila Odinga, the opposition leader, who also swore himself into office, even though we've had condemnations around the world. So we'll be praying that as we are here, we'll bring you the latest videos on his swearing in, what the criticism has been, and what you think about it. Look, let's bring to you the latest news headlines we have in the studio. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's go to the Volta region. As well, we start our first story from the Adaklu District Assembly, which has commenced nursing of various special cassava species towards the establishment of what they call a proposed starch factory in the district. And the species of the cassava, which are said to have very high starch content, will be distributed to outgrowers for cultivation and supply ultimately to the factory when it commences production. The Adaklu district is expected to be the first to have a factory and the government's one district, one factory policy in the Volta region. Fred Kwame visited the nursing site and found the following report.
The Adaklu District Assembly has acquired 16,000 acres of litigation-free land at Adaklu Pechu for the cassava plantation and establishment of the starch factory. About 650 acres have been cultivated for reproduction. 3,000 farmers are expected to be registered as outgrowers who would be supplied these special cassava species for cultivation. The district chief executive for Adaklu, Fanuel Donko, indicated the assembly, in collaboration with the One District, One Factory Secretariat, is working hard to ensure the factory takes off in earnest.
So far we've cultivated 650 acres with different pieces of cassava. The target is we'll be cultivating 16,000 acres, but so far we've done 650 acres of land, and very soon we will commence production.
An estimated 4,000 direct and indirect jobs will be created with the establishment of the starch factory. Residents are optimistic the factory will curb the rural-urban drift and facilitate socio-economic growth in the Adaklu area.
Atem de bosu Suame yo kele du koma ba hoho e ya da kulu di ho la watan kwamu watan ba fi awodo ba su ba mia ba do ma po we la atem pon mu ya che maga joy de du ko bu ma ba mi de doji ho ta ne do le mi agbo le fi la ala da kulu de ka kulu de tu go teji degbe ama ikata wodo ko e ba fi ala e ba no no ma tro.
In a related development, the Volta chapter of the Ghana Journalists Association has impressed on the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, to endeavor to revive the region's collapsing industrial sector. The Volta GJA chairperson, Anthony Bells-Kanyi, during a meeting over the state of dormant industries in the region, lamented on the situation where various industries were left to rot due to lack of resources and support from government. A vivid example he gave was the whole industrial area, Volta Star Textile Company in Juapon and Akule Shoe Factory in Kwando.
So these are the 5 places we have visited so far, and we think that we can start with this one in this year. We know that this government is so interested in the growth of industries, and we think if RCC can push a little for these local industries, it will be a good push to revive these distressed industries in the region and then create employment for our teeming youth.
Dr. Archibald Lecha noted that a stimulus package is being prepared for the Volta Star Textile Company and advised the other industries to tender in business proposals.
We have also tried of late to try and convince some investors to come on board at Volta Star. We sent several investors there to look at the equipment and see, because we have also been told that if they can also do some, is it bleaching? If they can have they can at least bleach the grip aft and do some dyeing at least. School dresses, school uniforms, house dresses for schools, then they will add some value to their product and then they will make more money. But the government is also looking at the stimulus package for the Water Star Texas Limited. So your suggestion that the DRCC to follow up and for this to happen has been welcomed, and we shall take steps to make sure it happens as soon as possible.
Reporting for Joy News, Fred Kwame Asari.
Driving on major roads in Kumasi has become a cumbersome and also an unpleasant experience for motorists and commuters. Potholes leave vehicles juggling along tarred roads, whose only difference from dusty ones is a patch of faded black bitumen and stone chippings. What is generally regarded as ceremonial roads cannot guarantee motorists a smooth ride at all. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong takes us to the streets in the following reports of Kumasi.
Vehicles, especially trucks, break down at Suame roundabout when they hit the potholes. Such instances create traffic congestion, which leaves motorists and commuters stranded, sometimes for hours before they reach their destinations. This driver echoes the sentiments of his colleagues.
There are many potholes on this road. Vehicles are forced to slow down when they hit these holes. This causes traffic congestion. The Suame roundabout road should be fixed because it is in a bad state.
So I am standing at one of the busiest junctions in the Ashanti region, and that is the Agnega Junction. Well, the undulating nature of the road sometimes forces cars to break down. Over there, cars are forced to slow down, thereby resulting in traffic.
The nature of the roads makes driving on such roads rough. An example is a road from University to Junction. Drivers of the big trucks suffer when negotiating this curve. Most of the city roads are in a bad state, except the roads at Asawase and its environs.
The problem tech.
The road from here to airport roundabout is bad. There are other bad roads aside the ones with an undulating nature. There are several others with potholes. We suffer when we use such roads. Sometimes trucks carrying bags of charcoal fall on its side when they try to negotiate this curve.
Motorists and residents are complaining, but several attempts to reach city authorities have proved futile. Reporting for Joy News, Mona Lisa Frimpong.
A good report there by Mona Lisa. But let's move on. Let's look at maternal health. And failure of pregnant women to visit health facilities for antenatal services caused Wild West District to record some 7 stillbirths last year. The district director of Ghana Health Service in the area, Clifford Veng, who disclosed this at the end-of-year health performance review, said 2 of the stillbirths were fresh, whilst 5 others were maturated. Rafik Salam now reports from Wachau.
It is mandated by the Ghana Health Service that sub-districts, districts, and regional directorates should hold performance review meetings at the middle and end of the year to take stock of their achievements, challenges, with a view to finding solutions to them. Major stakeholders in the health sector in the Wild West District, notable among them, heads of department, members of the district assembly, traditional rulers, civil society organizations, and some critical health staff were present at the performance review meeting. It was held on the theme improving efficiency in governance and management of the health system, the role of leadership of the district health service. Warwick District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Clifford Venn, enumerated the fee charged by the district in the last 1 year.
We also improved our postnatal care performance over the last year. This also was achieved through improved number of midwives in 2017 over the other years. Family planning coverage had seen great improvement over the previous year's performance. This was increased from 34.5% to 42.8%, with a target set at 60%.
Clifford Venn was, however, not enthused by the number of 7 stillbirths recorded in the district.
We have recorded 7 of them. 2 of them were fresh, and then 5 of them were macerated. What do I mean by macerated and then fresh? The macerated one means that before the baby came out of the mother's womb, the baby was already dead, and then the baby got rotten. The still is that the mother has given birth, the baby came out looking very fresh, but then there was no life. The baby was gone. What are the reasons behind this? For the macerated, what it means is that the mother was not attending ANC services. She was not coming to our facilities when she got pregnant. She delayed in coming to our facility. So whatever was happening to her and the baby, the mother was blinded to that. So she got to the facility, and then that was what we discovered. But for the stillbirth, which is fresh, I would say that the reason could partly be from the health workers. If we also delay in our interventions, this one can also occur.
Warwick District Chief Executive Edward Labiru Sobo commended staff and nurses at the Health Directorate and the various health facilities across the district for working to improve on the health conditions of the people despite the challenges confronting them. He pledged a commitment of the Warwick District Assembly to expanding the infrastructure base of the health sector and making it vibrant to be able to deliver the quality service to the people.
This explains why we are committing a lot more resources to ensure the immediate completion of the children's ward at their hospital and the construction of many CHIPS compounds across the district. It is gratifying to know that very soon we shall finish existing 5 CHIPS compounds as well as the children's ward under construction. We are in the process of working to hand over a semi-detached bungalow for the occupation of doctors and health professionals posted to the district. We shall also commence the construction of more doctors' bungalows and nurses' quarters to further improve the infrastructure base of the district.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Wuchao.
Well, down here in Accra, 2 of the 6 armed men who attacked the Kwabenya police station to free their jailed colleagues had minutes before the attack presented themselves as complainants to assess the level of resistance they were likely to encounter or face from the officers on duty. It was when they were asked to direct their complaints elsewhere that they gave the all clear to the rest of the gang, who were then waiting outside. This was part of the account given by the police prosecutors when 12 suspects involved in the case, including the fugitives, appeared before an Accra High Court on Tuesday. JoyNews Joseph Akable reports 2 of the suspects were convicted on their own plea of being guilty.
The Kwabenya escape, according to police prosecutors handling the case, was first mooted by inmates Chibuzo Akuba, Vixen Ofori, and Roxin Jigbede, who had been overheard by first accused person Prince Osei. George Yeboah, the 4th accused, then smuggled a mobile phone to Dixon Ofori in cells, which he used to coordinate the plan with his contacts outside the cell. The initial attempt was said to have involved the use of a hacksaw blade smuggled by inmate Roxin Jigbede's brother into the cell, concealed in a loaf of bread. The attempt was, however, unsuccessful as the blade could not cut the padlock on the cell gate. The escape eventually happened subsequently on the dawn of Sunday, January 21, when the 6 attacked the police station. They entered, fired shots, held 3 police officers hostage, and opened the cells to enable the 7 escape. In the process, Kofi Seshi, who is said to have fired a shot that killed Police Inspector Imana Shivi, who was then on monitoring duties at the police station. 2 of the accused persons pleaded guilty to the charge of escape from lawful custody and were convicted, with their sentence deferred. The other 9 accused persons, unlike their 2 colleagues, pleaded not guilty to the charges put against them. Justice Abuaje Tano had some concerns with regards to 2 of the counts put against all accused persons, and he did direct that the court, the prosecutors for that matter, engage the Attorney General to seek some advice before they proceed with the matter. With regards to the 2 individuals who have been convicted on their own plea of guilty, they will be sentenced on February 13, 2018, when the case returns to the Accra Circuit Court. Reporting for JoyNews, my name is Joseph Akable.
The minority in parliament is accusing government of recruiting members of the invisible forces to provide security in their respective houses. They say they fear this move compromises the security of members of parliament. The invisible forces is a group linked to the governing New Patriotic Party. You may also recall that the invisible forces were reported to have masterminded an attack at a court in Kumasi to free suspects in lawful custody. NDC MP for Adaklu Kwame Agboja raised the concern of the minority in the following interview with JoyNews.
So the Minister for Local Government told Parliament's efforts are ongoing to resolve these concerns that come up. First of all, there's been a directive to the Registrar of Births and Deaths to reverse the earlier decision not to allow for the registration of some titles here in Ghana as names. Beyond that, a bill is expected to be introduced to Parliament to permanently correct these concerns. She, however, says when it comes to a number of other titles like Honorable, Dr., Mr., Mrs., well, the registry still has the right not to register these kinds of titles as names of people.
Considering that the SOP serves as an operational guideline for the registration of births and deaths, coupled with the sentiments expressed by the public, the Acting Registrar of Births and Deaths Registry has been directed to review the SOP and further directed that names such as Nana, Ni, Papa, and so on, as given by the parents, should be accepted for registration. The registry should perhaps be concerned with just official titles, such as Reverend, Dr., Mr., Miss, Mrs., Honorable, and so on. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development will very soon bring a bill to Parliament on registration of births and deaths, which will address some of these controversies and to reflect and accommodate present trends and societal developments.
Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Al-Hassan Suhini, is still critical of that indication that titles like Honorable will not be...
And of course, that insert was when the Minister for Local Government appeared before Parliament in response to concerns raised by parliamentarians about a decision taken by the Birth and Death Registry to register only some notable names and not others, especially those that are linked to titles in our country.